You guys may remember this fox bat from an on the road build. Well, it fell off the shelf and the tail fin broke off the left horizontal stab, so I've got it drying. I think it tried to commit a styrenicide, so I promise it didn't like the way I had it displayed on the shelf, so I promise I'll find you a proper stand and display you properly. Just now, be well, and model on. Well, hello, Glue Troopers, and I know you didn't expect to see me here today. This is an unexpected event. I did have actually a scheduled overnight here in Jacksonville. I wasn't going to come home for reasons I won't bore you with. It worked out, and I did get to come home for about 5 hours. So I went ahead, since I had the V2 in my bag, I went ahead and brought it out to the TARBIS because I wanted to pose a conundrum. If I build the V2 in the TARBIS while I'm technically at work on the road, just so happens that stop in the road is in Jacksonville, is it a TARBIS build or is it a road build? It is a home game or an away game? Is it both? Is it a hybrid? Is it a mutant model? I think I just invented something. Should write that down. Mutant model. Anyway, so I went ahead and got cranking on it. The missile, as you can imagine, was pretty straightforward, but the little portable stand underneath it is the tricky part. And I decided to go ahead and set the camera up and do a 300 speed because this really wasn't, and I did slow down, but there just wasn't really that much to it. So here I am building it, and as always, there's a story behind everything. So it's a 1/72 Revell kit. It goes together very well. The only real problem I had was getting the lower end to the seams to close, and because of the curves and contours, it's impossible to get clamps to hold to them to seal up all the way. But when you put the fins on, it covers it, so it's not really a problem. One could say it's a feature, not a bug. Then one thing happened. One of the little foot pads, one of them dropped, and I picked it up off the ground, found it surprisingly quickly. I even dropped one of the little tiny gray pieces, struts, and I was like, oh, that's gone. I looked right down. There it was. Oh, the missing parts gods are feeling friendly today. But they got me back. As I was working on it, one of the little foot pads dropped, but it dropped right in the middle of the table, only about an inch. And I wound up, and you can probably see me here in fast motion, changing the tabletop and everything. I stripped the table, swept the floor. Remember, this is at 300 speed. I spent a ridiculous amount of time looking for it, gave up, and when I started putting this, said, you know what, I'll just cut another one out of stock styrene. It's a little square piece, no big deal. And then, of course, when I started to put the rocket on the stand, ding, 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 it found the perfect camouflage place. It actually fell into the stand, which is made of the exact same gray plastic. So anyway, by the way, if you hear a gurgling noise in the background that sounds like my stomach going gurgle, 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 my wife and I got our new exercise bike delivered today, and so we're back on the diet. I'm good. So the Corporal's too big to take on the road with me, so I thought I would switch out and take another model. And since we're kind of in the Cold War motif, I thought that this Ryan Dark Shark would be a good one. I've never built one of these kits by MPM, at least I don't recall if I have. And so that's going to replace the V2 as the road build. So we have a mid-trip road build kit change. And I was surprised to see that there was a box waiting for me when I got here. So we'll do a quick unboxing. Again, I've opened the box, have not read the letter. This is from Bob. And Bob, I want to thank you very much. Hi, Max. Don't know when you'll get this, but late is better than not at all. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it just the same. The post office slowdown, all that stuff. We're all suffering that. Wonder what to call snail mail when it goes even slower, dead mail. Anyway, Ben Franklin must be doing somersaults in his grave. For those who don't know, Ben Franklin was the first American postmaster. Sorry, just let me step down off my soapbox before I really get ranting. You and the Glue Trooper Army you and all the Glue Trooper Army are right. Build just to escape the real world, decompress, and regain some sense of mental stability, even if for just a little while. Anyway, can't wait to see what you do with the PNW power plant. It would be a real neat super detail as it's so big. And your knowledge of aero motors. It should be a cakewalk, milk run, a cinch, pick one. I'll go with, well, since I'm on a diet, I guess cakewalk is that. And I got to watch the milk, so I'll go with cinch since I'm trying to cinch up my waist. Man, how apropos was that? Whew, I can be clever at times. Anyway, let's see. Well, just enjoy the build and do what you do. Model on. Glue Trooper Bob. P.S. Hope you can read my chicken scratch. Had to rewrite to make more legible. Perhaps a Captain Crunch decoder would help. Okay. So let's see what's in here. I think he's got them listed, but we'll pull them out the box. All right. We have the Monogram F-82 Twin Mustang. I built this kit as a kid. And, yep, well, that looks good. Good solid kit. Twin Mustang. The only reason this, you know, they could have done with these things in 44. A lot of people don't realize this technically does constitute, even though it flew in Korea, it does constitute a World War II fighter in that it was flying before the end of the war, just before the end of the war. And they just got one flying again today, by the way, a group of very dedicated people. That's how Andy Anschutz was able to get the guys at Aurora to sell it to expand the World War II line because they thought they'd made everything, and he made the argument, now the F-82 flew before the end of the war. It's technically a World War II fighter, so they made it. And here is the Williams Brothers Pratt & Whitney Wasp, and that will be a beautiful detail build. And he's got it listed here. The third one is Weirdos, Wait a Minute, the Wild Starter. So there we go. Well, Bob, I appreciate it very much. I will put this in with my collection of letters. I'll put this in the stash. No idea when I'll get to them, but good Lord willing, the river doesn't rise, I will get to them. So I think that pretty much covers everything in this unexpected show. I'm going to call this video Max's Models on the Road at Home. I like that. On the road at home. Guys, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and as always, model on. Styrene aside.